Hey everyone, this is Dr. Roy Gonick with the Milestone team. Today we're going to talk about the connection between sleep and long distance running. What is this connection, you're asking? Well, there has to be a very big connection. Sleep has to do a lot with how we are running and how we are acting during the day. So when we're having a good night's sleep, our run, our exercise is going to be much better. So there's so much science behind this. Basically, there are many questions that I get to hear from a lot of long distance runners about, hey Roy, well, how much should I sleep? How long should I sleep? How many hours is good enough? Well, the answer is that science shows that every person, every grown-up should sleep between 7 to 8 hours per night, and that is to keep a good and healthy lifestyle. Long-distance runners need that sleep, at least the 7 to 8 hours per night, in order to keep the body strong, in order to keep the body in a good shape, and in order to prevent long-distance runners' injuries. Science shows that in order for us to have a good night's sleep, well, we also need to exercise. So we can actually see that there's kind of this magical cycle between moving and sleeping. So we actually find that once we are physically active, our sleep usually is much better. People that don't move a lot don't sleep so well, and vice versa. There are two very important hormones that I would like to talk about. One is called melatonin, and the other one is called cortisol. Melatonin is a hormone that is secreted into our body through the brain that is actually created by other hormones that are secreted during the day, such as serotonin. Now the thing is that serotonin is a very important hormone that keeps us happy, and it's one of those neurohormones that help our body activate and be in a positive mode and feel happy, and basically have all sorts of what we call happy hormones. One of the hormones that are secreted during physical exercise is called endorphin. And the endorphins are secreted when we are running for long distance running. Basically, our body secretes endorphins. Why? Two main reasons. One, we kind of get this feel-good vibe, and that feel-good vibe allows our body to keep going even when the muscles are in pain, even though our body is going under a lot of endurance, and it needs to physically keep on going, even though the muscles may be aching, the joints may be hurting. So we have endorphins, those happy hormones that allow our body to keep on going, and it kind of gives us this high feeling that we feel like, yeah, we're winning, and we're gonna go through the end without any problem. So endorphin is a happy hormone, but also serotonin is a happy hormone. And so when we have a lot of endorphins in the body, our body also increases the amount of serotonin in the body. And that is the catch, guys. When we have enough of serotonin, our body can actually create melatonin when we go to sleep. And so when we have a good secretion of melatonin during the night, we're actually getting a lot of what we call antioxidants that help our body reduce inflammation, help our body rejuvenate, and allow muscle repair during our sleep. And that is thanks to this melatonin. The second hormone I was talking to you about is called cortisol. And cortisol is what we call a stress hormone. Now guys, don't worry. We do need some of those cortisol. Cortisol helps us actually stay awake. Cortisol helps us maintain a nice sugar level during the day. And cortisol is very important for our alertness. It's a stress hormone, but it's also a good survival hormone. So when we are running, and we're running for long distance, our body actually needs to balance the sugar. So how does it do it? It uses cortisol. It's called a glucocorticoid, which is basically secreted from our adrenal gland. And this allows to balance the sugars and use sugar reserves that are hidden in the liver, that are hid in the fat tissue, and to allow the body get sufficient energy through this cortisol that helps to release what we call glucagon, which is the molecule that turns into glucose, the sugar, okay? So this is a nice cycle that we need to know that occurs. And so we need the melatonin at night, and then we need a nice amount of cortisol, but not too much during the day. Now, cortisol can be a great thing, but can also be a bad thing if it's too much in the body. So if we have too much cortisol in the body, that actually means that our body is kind of neurotic and stressed out. Guess what? Long distance runners reduce the amount of cortisol because of good physical exercise, which actually takes stress down. It helps us to decrease stress. And it helps us increase the melatonin during our sleep. And when this cycle is working so well, when we get up in the morning, the amount of cortisol is going to be sufficient, but not too much. And when we're exercising, we're going to help reduce the amount of cortisol, reduce the stress hormones, balance the sugar, and help us keep a nice and healthy lifestyle. When we are sleep deprived, our body can actually start messing up those hormones. And when we mess those hormones up, stress hormones go up, our body's muscles, the tissue, can become less flexible, and this is where long distance runners' injuries can occur. So we want to make sure that one, our body's getting enough melatonin during the night, we're sleeping enough, and then our body can reduce the cortisol, our body can do a nice repair of the tissue during the night, and then we can avoid long distance running injuries. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe and see us in our next video. And if you have a friend that doesn't sleep enough, make sure that you share this video with him so he can enjoy this information as well. I'm Dr. Roy Gonick from the Milestone team, and we'll see you in our next video.